Yeah, I like that, man. It was hard. I'm just like rocking out, you know, like or start, you know, it's shuffling rhythm.
Yeah. We on the album. The album is about me like half acoustic and half with a full band. That's of course one of the full band ones.
Yeah,
that's a fun one to do live.
So in your last record, Devin Greenwood worked with you. Is that what I?
Yeah, Devin Greenwood is he engineered it, and he also helped out with the production. Andy Keenan produced it. He was a guy who he joined Patrick's Head towards the end. He was played a bunch of shows with us maybe the last year or two that we were around, and he's just a phenomenal arranger and a phenomenal musician. And I basically like demoed a whole bunch of songs after Patrick's Head broke up, and demoed a bunch of songs and went to him with them. And I said, well, you know, what do you think? Do you think I have an album here? And he said, yeah. So he wanted to produce something. So I said, well, you know, will you produce this? And then so we worked on the songs. We did a lot of you know, pre-production, arranging the songs, which was an unusual way. With Patrick said, we tended to go into the studio with the songs and just play them live. You know, we would just play them live a bunch of times and get the best version, and then do some overdubs. This album, we really took a lot of time arranging the songs beforehand. So it was we had to, you know, actually putting together parts for different instruments and deciding what instruments would go in and where, and so it was a much longer process. So we spent about 2 or 3 months working on it before we even went into the studio, and I was also workshopping the songs live and doing some gigs and you know, trying to put a new lineup together. So then we got into the studio. I mean, it was I guess from the time we went into the studio to the time it actually came out, it was close to a year. But it took about 6 months to record, another like month or so mixing and all that kind of stuff. And you know, when you're also doing jobs, everyone is working on other jobs and trying to make a living doing you know, as well. So it takes a little longer, you know. But it's
I know. I'm a musician artist myself too. So and you know, anyway, but those guys, you know, not to name drop or anything, they're working with Amos Lee. That's
well, Devin played on Amos's, definitely on his first album. I'm not sure if he was on Amos's second album or not, but he was in he was in the band, and Andy is playing with Amos Lee now. He wasn't at the time, but he's actually on tour with him right now out in Colorado, where I just was just looking at Andy's Facebook, and it's like -27 or something where they're playing.
Oh man, you don't even want to take the guitar out of the case.
I know. Like, and he's got a big beard, so he's probably coming in handy right now.
But we were talking a little bit beforehand about the Point in Bryn Mawr and how Amos Lee had started out there back in early 2003, 4, somewhere around.
Yeah. The Point was a happening spot. They closed down. I think they had problems. They never had a liquor license, and I think it made it too difficult for them to survive. I think they kept trying to get one and couldn't get one, and that was a big part of the reason that they couldn't make money. You know, because the open mic there. I mean, that was one of the biggest open mics in the city. You know, I was
blown away.
You had to be there early. You know, you had to be there at 5 o'clock if you had a prayer of getting a song in, you know. So it was there when the World Cafe opened. That open mic became quite a big one. We met a lot of cool people there as well. But the Point was great. Yeah,
it's a cool place. And I know they're still booking shows and everything, because it was after the Point closed down. I think I saw Tommy Emmanuel in the town north of Philly. There's a theater.
Not Sellersville?
Not Sellersville, but
Colonial Theater?
Yes.
Media?
Yeah.
Media?
No. Anyway, Tommy Emmanuel was there, and there's also a little coffee shop down the street from there. I went there. They had an open mic at this coffee shop, and I was going to play, and I saw Tommy Emmanuel was playing. I'm like, I'm going to see Tommy Emmanuel, you know, and I was really blown away. I called my wife and said, honey, $20, Tommy Emmanuel. Sorry I won't be home when I thought I'd be. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool places around the Philly area that
there is, and there still is. Most of them have survived. You know.
You know, we were talking a little bit about that as far as the live music scene, and you find that happening here in Pittsburgh about getting people out to shows that I don't know if it's a combination of drunk driving laws or what, but there's or the people getting older, raising kids, they don't necessarily want to come home, or spending all their time on Facebook.
I think it is harder. It's harder to get people out, to get people out. I'm very lucky. I've got a great set of people who come and see shows, and they're great. I can always count on them, But it's stressful, because venues they still want to know how many people you're going to bring, over how good are you, So it's kind
of,
it's like I get that when I'm trying to book shows out of town, and they say, well, how many people are you going to bring? I said, I'm not going to bring any, So.
Well, the funny part about that is out of town bookings, and I do that too. Is what's your draw, and you go. It's like just roll the dice. Yeah. You're booking something, and then you find out, like you were saying, well, Super Bowl weekend, and the whole city here is just gearing up. I stopped it prior to here, and people to call off work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
that's cool though. That's exciting.
You
should have seen Philadelphia during the World Series. I mean, the whole place came to a standstill. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to see that Philly made it, because I think the Pirates' chances are just like completely.
I know that's.
I was listening to that the other night I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher, and he was talking about football versus baseball.
Right.
And football, American football, has revenue sharing, where they put it all in the same pot.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it being. Hey, that's how it works. Everybody gets, and they divvy it up amongst the teams. That's why every week you never know who's going to, or every year you don't know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
Baseball, no.
No,
it's like the rich teams are always there,
And it's kind of sad, because all of a sudden Philadelphia is one of those teams, whereas for years we would complain about the Yankees and we'd complain about the Red Sox and the teams that had all the money, and now now Philadelphia's kind of one of them,
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden we have like the best pitching staff money can buy.
There.
And we're a little bit shy about it, but
yeah.
But it's going to be fun to go watch them, So.
Yeah. Well, listen, we can talk a lot, and you're here to share your music. So, in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs live from WNJR here in Washington, Pennsylvania, at WNJR.org, and also at 91.7 FM, and we have John Byrne in the studio from Philadelphia, and he's been sharing some of his tunes with us. And are those off of your last CD? Both
of them are. Yeah, I think everything I'm going to play today will probably be off the last CD.
And you said you're getting ready to make another recording, right?
I went into the studio and I have a show at the World Cafe Live on the 26th of February. So I actually decided that I would release a single on the night. Even though it's kind of like a bit of a dead art, but I had a song that I wanted, and then I had another very experimental thing that I wanted to do as well, and so we recorded both, and it really sounds like the old-fashioned like A-side, B-side.
Oh, the singles are dead. I'm
well, you know what I mean. Well, as a piece of plastic, as a 45, but
they're coming back.
Well, it is, and I mean people are more likely to make EPs now than full-length albums, for financial reasons, and it's, when you make an album, it takes a while to get around to making another one,
And the price points too.
Yeah. Whereas you can make an EP, a 4-song EP, and then if you can sell a few of them, then within a few more months you have material and hopefully the means to make another one.
Well, I've talked about this actually with my son, and some people I know in the industry they're saying the same exact thing. That EPs and even singles, people are making a single, putting it up online, and it's weird how the music industry has kind of come full circle, because that's how it used to be. I'll date myself, but a child of the bubblegum thing. When I was growing up, they had in America the Jackson 5 and the Osmonds were like right about that time period, and they were putting out 45s, and people were just. My first records were 45s, and then LPs came AM
Yeah.
radio was still big
Right.
when I, was a kid.